and welcome to the joint statement of German Finance Minister Olaf Scholz, French Minister of the Economy and Finance Bruno Le Maire, Italian Minister of Economy and Finance Daniele Franco, and Spanish Vice President and Minister for the Economy Nadia Calviño on the submission of the national recovery plans of Germany, France, Italy and Spain to the EU Commission. Minister Scholz, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. The EU Recovery Fund is a game changer for Europe. We are joining forces in a true spirit of solidarity to fight the unprecedented coronavirus crisis and to build a carbon-neutral and digital future. The Recovery Fund is a historic chance for Europe, for our countries and for our citizens. I'm very confident that we take the opportunity and shape our future, create more and better jobs, more innovation and sustainable growth benefiting everyone. In the past months, we, France, Italy, Spain and Germany, worked very hard to prepare our ambitious investment and reform packages. So did many other member states. It is a good news for Europe that the Big Four, representing more than 250 million Europeans, submit their national recovery and resilience together to the EU Commission this week. What a strong symbol! Europe is united. Germany is submitting its recovery plan today. Our plan is sending out a clear signal in favor of a climate-friendly and digital future. 90% of the spending in Germany's recovery plan is targeted towards climate action and the digital transformation. The German recovery plan is also a very European plan because it supports international projects in the areas of hydrogen, microelectronics and data processing, open to all member states in the EU. Together with France, Germany, Italy and Spain, I'm calling on all member states to submit their recovery plans and ratify the own resources decision as soon as possible. All member states and the EU Commission need to work hard to swiftly implement our investment and reform packages. Together, we will start a new era for Europe, an era of solidarity, sustainability and success.
Guten Morgen, Olaf. Buenos dias, Nadia. Buongiorno, Daniele. I'm very proud and very happy to present today our National Recovery Plan together with my three friends. It is clearly, as Olaf said, a decisive step. Our citizens are waiting to be sheltered from the impact from the worst crisis since 1929. They are also waiting for more growth, more prosperity, more jobs. These are the purposes of the European Recovery Plan. These plans reflect an increased cooperation between member states. They will deliver a meaningful stimulus that will offer a timely support to our economies. With the European Recovery Plan, the four of us are funding joint cooperation in the form of important projects of common interest in key technologies such as hydrogen, cloud, electronics and telecommunications, artificial intelligence and batteries. Indeed, our goal is to strengthen innovation throughout Europe to be more independent and more sovereign. Innovation is pivotal for our economies. It is also key to design the technologies that will allow us to fight efficiently against climate change. In that regard, the political responsibility of the Member States and the Commission is now to make the European Recovery Plan a concrete reality as soon as possible for our citizens. We are therefore calling on Member States to submit their recovery and resilience plans and ratify the own resources decision as soon as possible. This is vital for the European Union to raise funds and start paying out the first euros of the European Recovery Plan. In this regard, it's very encouraging to see that many member states are working hard in the same spirit to present their plans in the coming days. In addition, We are also calling on the European Commission to assess the plans without delay, so that they can be approved by the Council in July at the latest. This will allow the money to flow before the end of the summer. Behind this recovery plan, the question for Europe is eventually to determine the role it wants to play in the 21st century. Either we stay in the technological and economic race, or we will be in second league. We have all the assets to be successful. A single market with more than 400 million of citizens, a world-class capacity of innovation, thanks to our universities, common values, cultures, and a history. There are good reasons to be optimistic and determined about Europe and our common future. We have in our hands the possibility to improve the quality of life of our citizens. We have in our hands the possibility to shape the 21st century together with the US and with China. I'm so very happy that today, with Olaf, Nadia, and Daniele, we present together our national recovery plans to the Commission. It is the clear symbol of the European solidarity that we are calling for.
Good morning. I'm very happy to present our National Recovery and Resilience Plan together with my colleagues from Germany, France, and Spain. The introduction of the next generation EU is a defining moment in the process of European integration. It will contribute to the achievement of three fundamental objectives for our economies and societies. First, repairing the economic and social damage from the pandemic. Second, building more dynamic, scientifically and technologically advanced economies that can prosper in a global environment while ensuring inclusiveness. Third, launching a substantial and non-reversible green transition to tackle climate change. We have finalized the Italian Recovery and Resilience Plan and are about to submit it by the end of this week. Both houses of parliament carried a motion by a large majority approving the presentation of the plan as made by the Prime Minister. Resources from the Recovery and Resilience Facility amount to 191 billion, about 12% of our GDP. We also committed additional national resources by creating a 30 billion complementary fund whose design and monitoring scheme will follow that of the Recovery and Resilience Plan. Projects are organized in 6 missions that focus on key areas: digitalization, innovation, competitiveness and culture, green revolution and ecological transition, infrastructure for a sustainable mobility, education and research, inclusion and cohesion, healthcare. Overall, the green and digital investment are 40% and 27% of the total, respectively. Two examples of concrete targets. We intend to raise the share of renewable sources to 72% by 2030 and to provide high-speed connectivity everywhere in the country by 2026. Inclusiveness is an overarching objective pursued by all missions. It is declined along 3 main dimensions: gender parity, youth inclusion, and reduction of regional disparities. In particular, about 40% of total resources are allocated to the South to address a divide with the North that is still too large. Only if we close the gender, generational, and regional gaps, we can reach robust and sustainable growth in the medium term. In designing the plan, one of our guiding principles has been that no investment strategy can deliver its full potential unless it is complemented by ambitious structural reforms. Having this in mind, our plan will include a reform of public administration aimed at improving, digitalizing, and streamlining procedures and enhancing human capital. A justice reform with the objective of reducing the length of procedure. We estimate a 40% reduction for civil justice procedures. A reform of public procurement and an area of regulatory simplification. Italy is also committed to implement an annual competition law starting in 2021. These reforms will not only enable a timely and effective implementation of the investment projects of the plan, they will also lay the foundation for a stronger structural growth over a longer horizon. Greater human and physical capital, greater inclusion, and structural reform will increase potential growth, productivity, and employment. The implementation of the Recovery and Resilience Plan and the complementary plan will contribute to build a more digitalized and innovative country, one that is environmentally sustainable, open to women and young generation, and geographically inclusive. Thank you very much.
Good morning. It's a great pleasure to participate with my friends Olaf, Bruno, and Daniele to mark this important milestone in the deployment of the European Recovery Plan. Key national plans are being sent to the European Commission, and this will kick off the process leading to the implementation of this ambitious program of investments and reforms throughout the EU. To mitigate the impact of the health crisis in the short run, to support a structural transformation of our economies in the mid-run, and to make our economies and societies more resilient, more sustainable, inclusive, and fair in the long run. For the past years, the four of us, together with the rest of member states, have devoted a lot of energy to fighting the pandemic. It is a global challenge requiring joint responses, and Europe has stood up to the challenge. From the very beginning, we have acted in a coordinated manner to respond to the economic and social impact of the health crisis. We have deployed a safety net for governments, for companies and citizens, which has allowed us to preserve a strong basis for the recovery. And moreover, beyond those short-term responses, we have agreed on a joint ambitious recovery plan, which will allow to build a stronger Europe. With Next Generation EU, we have decided to borrow together in order to invest together in our joint future, to boost the economic recovery and drive the twin digital and green transitions, to support innovation and address inequalities, fostering social and territorial cohesion, improving education and skills for young people, and closing gaps. Spain is putting forward an ambitious plan to mobilize 140 billion of public investment by 2026, with a clear front-loading, so that private investment is already mobilized in 2021, and also to undertake ambitious transformative reforms for the next generation so as to ensure that our country can be one of the engines of the European recovery. The Spanish recovery plan builds on the cross-cutting 4 pillars: green transition, digital transformation, social and territorial cohesion, and gender equality. It foresees a coherent and balanced package of investments and reforms to be implemented in the coming 3 years, devoting almost 40% of investment to the green transition, 30% to the digital transformation, 10% to education and skills, and 7% to R&D. We have already launched the first phase of implementation, and we will continue to work hard in the coming weeks and months to ensure implementation on the ground when the funds are mobilized in the second part of the year. Time is of the essence, as the other colleagues have already said, and swift approval of the plans will be key to ensure that our actions at national level continue to interact and reinforce those of our neighbors, to provide our citizens with hope and confidence in the future after such a challenging period, and to confirm once more that we are stronger when we act together. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and I wish you a nice day and stay healthy.